the start is Girard's core belief.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really diving into something fascinating, the world of legendary sales, through Joe Girard's classic book, How to Sell Anything to Anybody.
Yeah, Joe Girard, quite the name in sales.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you haven't heard of him, get this. The man sold 13,001 cars individually. It landed him in the Guinness World Records as the world's greatest salesman.
It's an almost unbelievable number, really.
It really is. So the big question for us today is how? How did one guy achieve that? And maybe more importantly, what can you actually learn from his strategies today?
hmm
Our sources give us a pretty clear roadmap, from his very tough beginnings right through to these principles he developed.
And what's really striking, I think, right from the start is Girard's core belief. He always said, salesmen are made, not born.
That's powerful.
It really is. It kind of shatters that myth, doesn't it? That sales is some sort of, magic talent you either have or you don't. So our mission here is to pull out the practical stuff, the wisdom that goes beyond just generic sales tips. We want to focus on the mindset, the enduring principles that made him so successful. He was convinced anyone could do it with the right approach.
And his personal story, wow, it makes it so clear. This wasn't just handed to him. He came from, well, let's just say it wasn't easy. A really tough upbringing, poor Sicilian neighborhood in Detroit, physical abuse from his father, constant money worries. I mean, it was a struggle from day one.
Yeah, that background is crucial.
And that harshness from his father, it left him feeling worthless, he said. But kind of ironically, it also lit this fire under him, this intense desire to prove his father wrong.
That drive.
So he did everything. Shining shoes, delivering papers, just anything to help. He even found a mentor early on, Abe Saperstein, a builder who helped him build some self-worth.
That mentorship sounds key.
Definitely. But even then, more setbacks. He hit rock bottom again before making this desperate jump into car sales just to feed his family. And all those old feelings of inadequacy came rushing back.
You can imagine.
But this is where you really see his resilience, that ability to just keep pushing, adapt. It directly fueled his later success. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. That personal drive is, it's everything for Girard. He famously called it all begins with want.
Want. Okay.
Yeah. For him, that want was super personal. He often talked about it like needing to get that bag of groceries for his family. Simple, but powerful.
Right. Basic needs.
Exactly. He said, if you want and know what you want, you will have most of what you need to be a successful salesman. It's pretty direct.
So it's about knowing your own motivation first.
That's half of it, yes. Understanding your own want fuels your engine. But the other crucial part is understanding the customer's want. Really listening. Like just asking what brought you here today. It sounds simple, but it opens the door. You might find out it's not just I need a car, but maybe my family's growing or my commute just doubled.
So you can tailor the approach.
Precisely. Which actually leads to a fundamental question.
Yeah.
How did Girard see the customer in all this?
Yeah.
Given that focus on want.
That's such a good point because he really pushed back against that negative stereotype of the salesman, the pushy, maybe even predatory image. He had this concept, maybe a bit blunt sounding, the mooch is a human being.
Okay, unpack that a little.
Well, what he meant was you have to see past the transaction. Customers often walk in feeling scared and vulnerable. They're making a big decision, spending a lot of money.
Sure, it's natural to be guarded.
Exactly. And they often see salespeople with suspicion. But Girard also said salespeople carry their own baggage, like anger or fear, that can mess things up. So step one was dealing with the salesperson's own mindset. Disarm yourself first, then the customer.
That makes sense. He believed a good sale meets the customer's needs fairly. It turns them into, as he put it, friends rather than foes.
Friends, not foes. I like that.
Yeah. He had this great quote, you can't sell a scared person. He'll run away from you. You can't sell a mooch. You can only sell a human being.
Powerful.
It really highlights that satisfied customers aren't just one sale. They come back. They send others. It's about genuine connection, not just the commission check.
That idea of connection, of building relationships, that leads right into his concept of the network, right? Which is huge for him.
Absolutely central.
He developed Girard's Law of 250, which sounds kind of formal, but the idea is simple.
But profound.
Yeah. He figured every person knows about 250 other people well enough to invite them to, say, a wedding or a funeral.
Right, the significant connection.
Exactly. So think about that. Every single person you interact with represents this potential network of 250 others.
It changes how you view every conversation.
Totally. He talked about the ripple effect. One bad experience. That could negativity reach, he calculated, up to 70,000 people over time through word of mouth.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Mind-boggling, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the flip side is, a good experience has that same massive potential, just in a positive way. It really makes you stop and think.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, it just underlines how vital every single interaction is. Professionalism, consistency, that's how you build positive ripples. Girard used this analogy of a Ferris wheel for selling. You need this constant flow, people getting on, people getting off.
Yeah.
Always proactive.
Keeping it moving.
Right. Understanding when your current customers might be ready for an upgrade, thinking ahead. And he really emphasized utilizing existing networks, making sure your friends, family, the guy at the dry cleaner knows what you do.
Leave no stone unturned for referrals.
Pretty much. Anyone could be a lead.
So how did he manage all this huge network? He had his toolbox, as he called it.
Yeah, his system.
And what's interesting is it wasn't super high tech, even for back then. He still used the phone for cold calls, but the real core was meticulous record keeping.
Fanatical about it, wasn't he?
Totally. A detailed diary for long-term prospects, tracking every chat, and his customer card files. He guarded those like gold, kept copies off-site, apparently.
Wow. Serious dedication.
And then there was his mail strategy. Personalized birthday cards, notes throughout the year, consistent contact, plus those unique business cards with his picture on them.
Ah, yes, the picture.
Memorable.
Very memorable for the time, right? He handed those out everywhere, generously.
Definitely made him stand out. And building on that, he had these almost psychological tricks for getting them to read the mail.
Okay, tell me more.
He knew his mail had to cut through the noise. So things like never put the business name on the envelope, use odd-sized or colored envelopes, always include a handwritten note.
Smart. Make it personal, intriguing.
Exactly. And he timed it carefully. Avoided sending stuff around bill paying time, catch people when they're maybe more receptive. It's clever.
Then there was his bird dog system. This was brilliant. Basically, incentivizing other people, his bird dogs, to send him leads.
Paying for referrals?
Yep. Typically $50 for a sale that came from a referral. And he stressed being absolutely reliable with those payments. Built trust. Sometimes he'd do meals or gifts instead if people preferred that.
Flexible.
Very. And he found these bird dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
Satisfied customers, sure, but also barbers, mechanics, other professionals, anyone who interacts with lots of people, gave them his cards too.
Equipping his network.
Right. But, this brings up a good question. How did he keep all this going? Maintaining these relationships over the long haul?
Yeah, that's the real challenge, isn't it? Consistency. You can set it up, but you have to keep feeding it. And that dedication, that nurturing, it flows right into the actual interaction. The strategy and psychology he used face to face.
Right, the moment of truth.
He talked about selling the smell, sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Ah, the classic line.
But he really meant it. Selling is emotional. It's about the experience. That new car smell, the feel of the test drive. That's what connects, often more than just the specs.
Appealing to the senses, the emotions.
Exactly. And let's dig into this a bit. He noticed that just getting someone on a test drive creates this subtle feeling, almost like an obligation.
Interesting, like they've started the ownership process mentally.
Kind of makes them more invested. It's a psychological nudge.
That's fascinating. And it fits with his idea of espionage and intelligence when qualifying customers, but like in a good way, not intrusive.
Right, not creepy espionage.
No. More about really sharp observation. Active listening, watching body language. It started with that simple "what brought you here today?" question.
To get to the real why.
Precisely. And he'd quietly check out their current car condition, make, model, little clues about their lifestyle, needs, maybe even budget.
Reading the signs.
Yeah, reading the customer, looking at their appearance, their interests, how they talk. All to tailor the approach, make it feel personal, not generic.
Which builds that rapport, that trust. Which brings us to honesty. He believed honesty is the best policy, but maybe with a little nuance.
How so?
Well, for facts, you can check engine size, features absolute truth, no misrepresentation. But he also saw value in, let's call them small lies, or maybe just flattery.
Okay, like what?
Like complimenting the old car they're trading in, even if it's a bit rough. making them feel good, creating a positive vibe without actually deceiving them about the new car.
Smoothing the interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that was how the salesperson looked. He advised dressing like you're their kind of guy. Relatable, clean, but not flashy. Avoid intimidating people.
Makes sense. Don't want to create a barrier.
Right. And keep your office clean, organized, minimize distractions. Keep the focus on the conversation, on them.
And keeping your own focus was huge for him, too. He had that rule, don't join the club.
Right. Avoiding the office gossip circle.
Exactly. The dope ring, or bull ring, he called it. Wasting time chatting with coworkers when you could be making calls or following up.
Stay productive.
Totally. He believed in hard work, strategic action, always learning, going to sales meetings, workshops. Not just hanging out. He said, you can build the biggest business in town without being in the club. Focus was key.
And that focus extended way beyond closing the deal, didn't it? Into sustaining that success.
Oh, absolutely. The long game.
He talked about winning after the close, seeing every customer as a lifelong asset, not just one sale.
Aiming for repeat business, referrals.
Exactly. And get this, he saw problems and complaints as opportunities.
That's a powerful mindset shift.
Isn't it? Instead of dreading them, his approach was take their side, figure out the issue, solve it. He found that resolving a problem well often turned an unhappy customer into an incredibly loyal advocate.
Turning a negative into a major positive.
Wow, that's real long-term thinking.
It really is. And connecting that to the bigger picture, it shows how he strategically used support. Leveraging help, he called it.
Delegating.
Yes. Hiring assistants or secretaries for the routine stuff so he could focus on what he did best. Interacting with customers, closing sales.
Freeing up his time for high-value activities.
Right. Apparently his accountant pushed him to hire help, and it actually boosted his closing rate significantly.
Interesting. Sometimes you have to spend money to make money.
Exactly. And he practiced self-competition. His main rival wasn't the guy at the next desk. It was his own previous record. Always pushing himself.
Constant improvement.
And investment in innovation. Always looking at his marketing. Was it cost effective? Was it creative? Like sending plants instead of flowers because they last longer?
Small touches, big impact.
Yeah. He even mentioned a young insurance agent who started cold calling from the middle of the phone book just to find people others weren't calling. Thinking differently.
Finding an edge.
Right. But underlying all these strategies, patience. He knew this stuff takes time. Consistent follow-up is absolutely crucial. It doesn't happen overnight.
So, pulling it all together, Joe Girard's story, it's quite something. From that tough start, harnessing that personal want, treating people like humans.
That law of 250.
Yeah, the law of 250, his practical toolbox, that commitment after the sale. It really shows that sales success isn't magic, is it?
Not at all. It's mindset, strategy, and just relentless effort, really. Passionate effort, good point. And Girard always felt there is no last chapter. Success isn't a destination you arrive at. It's ongoing. Mental effort, renewal, always learning.
Never coasting.
Never. Which leaves us with something for you, the listener, to think about. How can you apply these Girard principles? Finding your own want, embracing that law of 250 ripple effect. Not just in sales, maybe, but anywhere you need to connect, build trust, create lasting relationships.
Good question. How does it apply more broadly?
Yeah. Just consider how those small, consistent acts of genuinely valuing people, seeing them as individuals, could make a real difference in your own life, your career. Maybe in ways you haven't even thought about yet.